how would you not talk him into it, out of it? How would you explain what you bring to the table? I want you to talk about your experience that you bring to a wedding.
So the first thing I would do is I would take the money out of it. First, I'll take the money out of it. I would say, listen, let's talk about the experience. It's not about the budget right now. It's about the experience. You're getting married once, right? And so what kind of vibe do you want? Tell me the vibe you want, and then we can work with it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this is Beyond the Lens, where I interview a lot of people that are in the industry that are not just wedding related, it's small business itself, but today's guest is Steve G Productions that does DJing and lighting. So today's Beyond the Lens is going to be talking about basically the wedding industry, but not just the wedding industry, trends that we're seeing happening and things like that. We're also going to talk about small businesses when it comes to life itself, having a business, still working a job, wife, kids, and everything else like that. So today we're going to talk to Steve G Productions. Steve and I, we met quite a few years ago.
Yeah, we have.
We've done a lot of weddings together. Where was it the first time that we met? Was it through Jay?
You know what? I think it might have been through Jay.
Okay.
Where we actually happened to work a wedding together where we just walked in and I said, oh, you're Radio Ron. You're Radio Ron.
Oh my God, I remember that.
You're Radio Ron, because when I first heard your name, it was on the radio. This
Kicks
is
100.9.
Yes, and I go, Radio Ron. That's how I addressed you.
I completely forgot about that.
Yes.
That was a long time. Anyway, so yeah, Radio Ron.
Radio Ron.
So DJing, how in the world did you, before I even get to my questions, how did you even get involved with the concept of DJing?
Yeah. So back when in my late teens, early 20s, maybe just my late teens, I worked at a venue that we both know is no longer a business, but Chez Joseph. I worked on the wait staff. So I would see a lot of vendors come in, a lot of wedding vendors come in, DJs especially. And music has always been my life. You know, I've always loved music from growing up. And when I had the opportunity to work at Chez, I saw these DJs, and I actually spoke to one DJ in the area who took me under his wing, showed me all the ropes, took me to a couple private events, college events, and then he started getting me into weddings. And then once I dabbled into those three categories, I knew weddings was my thing.
Really?
Yes.
So how long did it take you to go from your teens, loving music, getting involved with that mentor that kind of took you under his wing, kind of thing like that, to your first wedding?
So it was like the first year of being with another DJ that after the first year I felt confident. And my very first wedding I remember was at least 300 people. And this was in the CD era of coming out of the CD era, going all digital. And you only had a certain amount of CDs and songs that you could pick from. And right there, once I got through that 300 person wedding, I knew if I could do that, I could do this as a business, as a career. Yeah.
What year was that?
That was, so we're going close to, I'm approaching my 30th year soon. So back in the 90s, late 90s, right? So.
Wow, just thinking about that for just a second, because I remember Chez Joseph back in the day.
Yep.
My prom was there, that's how I remember it. I didn't do many, I did probably one or two weddings there before they ended up closing their doors. But how did that, was it something that you just knew from the beginning and just felt like that was what you were going to do? And it's always been like a side gig for you?
So it's been a side gig for me, but it also feels like my main gig. Because because I'm doing it so many times a month on every weekend. So I feel like it's just really taken over, which is great because I love it. I love the hustle of it. I love the traveling. I love the people. But when I saw my very first wedding there as a wait staff, I was like, I always knew I could entertain some way, somehow. I didn't know which direction I wanted to go. I was like, let me try that. And when I did that, I was like, boom, that's it. We're going to do it.
You knew right away.
I knew right away.
Knew right away. As many weddings as I do, I know going in who I'm working with. So I always get that list of people, my vendors that I'm going to be working with on the wedding day. Whenever that bride comes into me and they book with me and it's like, hey, do you have any DJs yet? Or do you have any DJs you can recommend? And I send them my top 4 people that I recommend. And you're on that list because there's levels of DJing that are levels higher than anyone else's. I need to know, I'll talk to the bride and figure out which direction that they are thinking. Now, if this is somebody's second wedding and it's an older couple, the kind of energy that you bring to your weddings and to your dance floors and things like that, sometimes that's not what that kind of couple wants. Correct. So you almost have to pick and choose, or not pick and choose, you have to be careful which DJ you're going to send to them, because not every DJ is going to be the right fit for them. And I always say, here's the best guys in the area, go take a look, and then let them figure out which one is the best vibe for them. So with all the weddings that I do, when I know there's people that I work with often, there's a camaraderie that comes along. So what I want to do is piggyback off of that, and I want you to, how do you approach, let's talk about how you approach a wedding couple that just reaches out to you. How does the process work?
So when they first inquire about the wedding day, I just give them the introduction of basically what I can provide for them. I get a little bit more detail, venue, time, things like that, and then once I give them the introduction email or phone call, then they kind of stew over the information, and then we discuss the next process.
So from there, once the inquiry comes in, you talk to them about what they're looking for, where they are, what the date is, and then do you have multiple tiers of your DJing services?
So I have 3 different packages.
Okay.
One with just the reception, one with the ceremony and reception, and then one with the ceremony, reception, and like photo booth, if you want to add a photo booth.
Oh, that's right. You got a photo booth.
I have
That's
the digital
right.
photo booth.
I love that.
But so what I do is the lighting is included at every package. I love the lighting. I'm a lighting junkie. I think it transforms a space.
It changes everything.
Big time.
Changes everything.
And it's optional. So the couple's not locked in to picking that. When they see it, they go, oh, great. But basically in the phone call, or email, I give them from start A down to Z on everything from the start of your ceremony to the end of the reception. I paint the whole picture all in one introduction, email or phone call.
Nice.
So that they can go, wow, he knows what he's talking about. He knows the format. He knows how to work a wedding. He has experience. That's what I want them to take away from that.
Yeah. All right. So when it comes to them reaching out to you, if a wedding couple is on the fence, and let's face it, weddings are expensive. There's a fee for everything, and everything costs something. But your wedding day only happens once, so it's one of those things like they want to spend their money wisely. Okay, I want you to walk me through, if somebody was sitting in front of you or you're talking to them on the phone, because we talked about not everybody reaches out and gets in person anymore. Right. If somebody was talking to you on the phone and they were not necessarily on a tight budget, but you were at the top of their budget, and there was somebody that was, let's say, $1,000, how would you not talk them into it, out of it? How would you explain what you bring to the table? I want you to talk about your experience that you bring to a wedding.
So the first thing I would do is I would take the money out of it. First, I'll take the money out of it. I would say, listen, let's talk about the experience. It's not about the budget right now. It's about the experience. You're getting married once, right? And so what kind of vibe do you want? Tell me the vibe you want, and then we can work with it, okay? Let me tell you what I can offer, and if it works in your vision, then I'm the guy for you. And then we'll discuss price, okay? But if it's like a $100 difference, then the DJ that you are looking, that's more towards your budget, only $100 difference, is it worth spending the extra 100 to get the DJ that knows exactly what you want?
Great point.
Because I focus in and I hone in on what they want. I listen to them.
Interesting.
Yep, and I say, okay, you've been dreaming this your whole life, your wedding day, from the dress all the way up to the reception.
Yep.
Your bridesmaids, your groomsmen, everybody. Let me be the guy to help tell that story through music. Okay, you want your guests to walk around or walk away from this saying, that was the DJ we always wanted. Okay, he was not about the money. Yes, and I'll probably get a lot of flack for that, for saying that. But if your heart is in this, your heart is in this.
I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your
being
honesty.
honest.
And I feel like that is what wedding couples need to see.
Yes.
I love what you just said, and it really made me think when you said taking the money out of the equation for just a second. You said, let's talk about what you want. I'm guilty of, hey, this is what I can deliver. And maybe as a vendors, we need to start stepping back and just saying, okay, let's take what I can deliver, because I know what I can deliver. Let's take that out of the equation for a second. Tell me what you want.
Sure.
And what you want, if what you want fits into what I can deliver, then we can have a conversation.
Sure.
And I feel like that's a good way to approach any wedding couple, is just saying, okay, what do you want? What are you looking for? Are you looking for your guests to have a good time on the dance floor? Yes. Are you looking to have your dance floor full of all the things all the dances that you want to do? Then yes.
So you have a lot of couples that come to you and say, I've never been married before. I don't know what I want.
Great point.
That's why you take the money out of it, explain what you can offer, right? You kind of build a little trust between you and the client, right? So because they're very stressed at this point.
Very stressed.
And excited.
Yep.
All the emotions are happening all at once.
Yep.
So what do? You take them out of that element and you put them in a more comfortable element and saying, okay, I'm sitting down with the photographer, I'm sitting down with the DJ. Let's figure out my vision and what they can do to help me.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I build that trust first.
Yeah.
And then we start talking about what I can provide for you. And I basically answer all the questions before they start asking those questions. When at the end of the meeting, I ask, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah.
Like, no, you answered them and nobody didn't even ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I take away from that. And that's what I always strive for. When I can answer all the questions for them before they ask.
Yeah.
Because their decision at that point will be a lot greater to hiring you than the guy they just talked to.
Correct.
Or the girl they just talked to.
Correct.
So
correct. And somebody that is thorough, I feel like wedding couples are starting to gravitate to, because I feel like to be thorough, you have to be experienced. Now, off camera, we had a long conversation about experience and everything else like that. And I do agree with you that there is people that are less money than, say, the vendors that like you and I do, but they're not as experienced as. So what we talked about was, what are they going to do in that situation where that dance floor has to pivot? Do they have the experience to know and how and do and things like that? So that's another good point. But I feel like being thorough with everything you just said, I'm going to take a lot of what you just said and start applying it to how I approach my clients and things like that, because I feel like I need to rethink a few things instead of me coming off as, hey, here's what I can do.
Sure.
Maybe step back and just give them and tell me what they want first.
Tell me. And
then being thorough like that, you will answer their questions before they even ask them. And they're going to be like, wow, you answered all my questions already.
They're going to walk away from your meeting, your interaction, the day from you meet them to the wedding day.
Yep.
They're going to walk away from those events going, that was the guy that we wanted to hire.
Yeah.
That was the girl that we wanted to hire.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we wanted. They delivered 100%. And then they're going to come back on a review and saying everything they wanted to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly how
I love that. And because you and I do a lot of weddings together, when we come walking in, we know how certain things are going. Hey, we got this coming up. What time are you going outside for sunset pictures? Okay, we'll cut the cake after that. So there is a good communication between vendor to vendor, which, whether I know the DJ or not, there should always be a connection between that. But when it comes to showing up on a wedding day with a photographer that you've never worked with before and doesn't have the experience of, let's say it's the bride's best friend or something like that, which that they're not doing 20 weddings a year. How do you approach that day, still being a professional? Now you've got to watch over what that photographer's doing to make sure they're not taking them outside when they requested this song and you took them outside to go do sunset when the bride specifically requested this song and you start playing it and they're gone.
Right.
How do you approach that?
So what I do is when I walk into a venue, any venue, I look for all the vendors I'm going to be working with. And we kind of huddle up when we can and just talk about the timeline and say, okay, here's what I have. Let's see what you have. And let's see what you have. Ultimately, it's going to come down to the venue regardless because they're serving the food, right? So we start there and then we say, okay, We have as a DJ to a photographer, I say, okay, you're going to go out for sunset shots. You're going to go out for first look. You're going to go out for this. Tell me what time you're doing those, what you plan on doing those, and let's see where my schedule is, and then we'll match up. Because I can always pivot. Really important that the bride, the groom, the couple gets those shots with their aunts, their uncles, their grandmothers, their grandfathers. Very important, right? I can always pivot. So I'm going to go off of what you have. If they want a certain song at a certain time, I always, before I do that, play that song at a certain time, I always check with the couple saying, listen, I have the videographer and the photographer taking you somewhere, doing something at that time. What do you say we try around 15, 20 minutes later when you're done? And you come back in and we do it. And 9 times out of 10, they're good.
Yeah.
All right. But I always make sure my timeline is 100% locked in with everybody else. Yeah. Because I don't want a photographer, a venue to start doing something, and they don't want me to start doing something. So you have to work hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that's very important. I feel like that's where experience comes in.
Yes. So when you have and I can speak on the DJ portion of it, when a couple hires somebody that hasn't really had the experience for weddings, but just wants to go and do a wedding, okay, they need to learn to know on when to have that timeline matched up, right? It's all about experience, right? So that's basically what I do as far as going into a venue, working with vendors. And if I work with somebody who's not as experienced, I get them up to speed. Yeah. I help them. Yeah. I'm not against them. Yeah. We're working the same event. Yeah. We're working together. Yeah. Let's work together. Yeah. So.
Because at the end of the day, if they have a bad experience because of inexperience, you don't want that to be a reflection of the dance floor. Now, when I talk to my wedding couples, as I'm talking to them and I'm asking them what they're looking for, I always say to them, these are the people that I work with all the time, and these are the people that really know how to read a dance floor. When a dance floor starts to dim down and starts to go away, that DJ has to pivot and figure out how to get them back onto the dance floor.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because when it comes to experience, the DJ needs to know how to pivot, right? There's DJs out there that still play a 4-minute song from beginning to end. Nowadays, the couples, they want quick hitters. I've learned this.
Great point.
Quick hitters. And what I mean by quick hitters, you hit them with a song that's a 3-minute song, but you play half of it and then drop in another song that works. We call it beat matching.
Yeah.
So you drop in another one. You want to keep that dance floor fresh. Yeah. Right? So if you're at places where it has like mountaintops, beautiful sunsets, you're going to lose a dance floor quick in the summertime. Yeah. Because they want to go see that sunset.
Great point.
So how do you reel them in? And I'm going to use that experience, right? You want to, they're going to go out there regardless, but you want to still keep a dance floor. Yeah. So how do you do that? You play your quick hitters. You play there's songs out there that need to be played. Yep. 3/4 of it. Yep. Because they're fun sing-alongs. Yep. Or they're family traditions. Yep. But then there's others you want to play quick hitters, because a lot of couples nowadays, they want to keep it fresh. Yep. They want to keep it lively. They want to have fun.
For sure.
Right? Because after the first minute and a half, guests start getting bored. They already know the song, right? So how are you going to keep it fresh? Yeah. By dropping in something else.
Great point. Right?
And now they're they're not going to go out and run out to the sunset and go hang out outside, because now they're bored. They want to go see the sunset now. Yeah. Right? You want to keep them inside. So that's what you do.
Yeah. And there is where I've done some weddings before that when that sunset time is outside, everybody goes outside. It's not a reflection of the DJ and what he's playing, good, bad, or otherwise. Everybody just wants to go see the sunrise and do pictures and things.
I can guarantee you that's how we feel.
Right.
Because we're not thinking about the sunset. We're thinking about the song.
Correct.
We're thinking about the music we're playing.
But the sunset is maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Yes.
You can occupy and play some stuff in the middle to kind of keep the music going, and then get them outside. Get those people back inside of the dance floor, because those one hits that you're talking about, those hitters, that really makes a difference. And I never thought of it like that. As many weddings as I do, I hear music. I can tell when I'm working with Jay, when I'm working with you, sometimes I can tell what song's coming up next, because I know a lot of things that you've been doing.
There's the cookie cutter songs.
Yep.
There's the songs that we stand by.
Yep.
But then a lot of couples nowadays, they say, listen, we don't want that cookie cutter.
Great point.
We want songs that we haven't heard in a long time, are going to throw people off, because that's what's going to bring our dance floor.
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to play the songs that you're not even thinking of. Yeah. You go to every wedding, you hear Celebration, you hear YMCA, you hear all that stuff. The standard.
Yeah.
Throw in something else where they're like, they only listened to it in the car, but then when they play out on the dance floor, your dance floor is packed. Right? So I play a lot of like mashup stuff.
Yeah.
And I only play that because it's by the couple's request.
Yes.
Right? And I'll give you an example. I have a mashup of Whitney Houston. Everybody loves Whitney Houston. Everybody knows the song, right? And then you drop in over a Rihanna beat, right? So you have two different genres in one song, and they start, now that's where you're keeping it fresh. You're keeping them excited. An experienced DJ will know before they do it on how the crowd is going to react. That's how we judge our music. And that's exactly what I do.
I love that part of it, and you're right. There's always those cookie cutter songs, the go-to songs. There is a difference, and I can tell the level of the DJ by how they mix. So, and how often they mix. And a lot of times, so I know you, I know Jay, I know Nikki Nell. You guys are like one of the top people that really know how to mix their music with the intentions of getting people on the dance floor, keeping people on the dance floor. And not everybody in the area can do that. Not everybody in the area can do that. There's some that are good, there's levels to, there's levels of photography skills, there's levels of DJ skills also. Perfect. All right. I'm going to get into my questions. Was like, that was mic drop. That was like all the information I wanted, but let's get into the questions.
Yes, sir.
Here. So what do you believe is the biggest role as a DJ plays on a wedding day? Beyond just playing music. This could be emceeing, anything.
We become your event coordinator as well.
Oh.
That's important. You don't just show up and play music. You show up to help them, to direct them, to keep on a timeline. So if the venue doesn't have an event coordinator, you become that. You wear many hats.
Even though there's a wedding coordinator there, they're going to come up to you and say, hey, Steve, we need to do this next. And then you'll make an announcement. Okay, we're going to cut the cake and stuff like that. So there's an MC part that comes along with what you do also.
So when the event
not just playing music.
Exactly. So when the event coordinator comes over to me and they say, we have this, this, and this happening, right? I then go over to the couple, get them prepped. So they're not running off doing something else, right? So I let them know, hey, listen, in 10 more minutes, we're going to be doing this, the cake cutting. We're going to be doing parent dances. We're going to be doing this. So just be around. And then when that time comes, I make an announcement, get everyone's attention. We get everybody back in, and now we're moving on to the next thing.
Side note,
yes.
How many times have you said, okay, we're going to do the father-daughter dance, and the father's not even in the room?
I'd say more than 50%. And that's why it's important. That's why it's important, because then they're looking around going, where's dad? So it's very important that an experienced DJ says, okay, we have the parent dances coming up. Let's go find mom. Let's go make sure mom and dad are in the room.
Before you make the announcement.
Before you make the announcement. And this is 30 minutes before you make the announcement.
Great
so you go over to the couple and say, okay, where's mom? Okay, mom's over there. Let's make sure mom's there. And then while the mother and son are dancing, the bride and dad are standing with each other, or vice versa. However the timeline is, if it's whoever goes first. I usually make sure mom and dad are in the room, and if I have a bride and dad dancing, I make sure the groom is standing with mom, so mom doesn't go running off. And then we go from one song and then transition into, I make an announcement, boom, now we're into the groom and mother.
Love that, love that. All right. How do you work with couples, and I feel like this is right down your alley, how do you work with couples to create a playlist that truly reflects the wedding couple's personality?
I find out what they like. I find out their do's. I find out their don'ts. I always ask them, what are your must plays? Tell me your top 10. What are your absolutely do not plays? They give me their do not play. And I customize a playlist with them and for them for their wedding day. I'm not playing music I like. I'm playing music they like. Yes, I'll throw in some favorites that work.
Sure.
But I customize a playlist for them.
Nice.
So make sure that every song that they pick means something to them.
What is a no? So if a bride was watching this and they were looking at you as a DJ or looking for a DJ, what is a no playlist? Okay, first you answer that. Have you ever had anybody come up from the guest asking you to play a song that's on the no playlist, and how do you approach that? So explain what a no playlist is first.
So your no playlists are things that the couples absolutely do not want, as far as certain genres, certain songs, maybe certain lyrics.
Yeah.
They do not want. They'll put them on the do not plays.
Okay.
Or even line dances.
Okay, great point.
Line dances have become the forefront of wedding planning with a DJ. Is the first off is we don't want line dances. Put on the do not playlist. And so what happens is if I have somebody, a guest, an aunt, an uncle, a grandmother, come up and say, hey, listen, can you play the Cupid Shuffle, Cha-Cha Slide?
Yeah.
I'll redirect them. I'll first let them know, say, listen, per request of the couple, we have no line dances, but let me see if I can find something else for you. Because the last thing you want is somebody to walk away and going, that DJ said no to me. You never want to say no. You want to redirect them because they're going to walk away going, okay, great. He knows, she knows what to play next. Okay. But that's the do not playlist. A lot of it has to do with no line dances.
Yeah. Really?
We've gotten away from that.
Yeah.
We've gotten away from that big time. Maybe once in a while.
Yeah.
But there's so many other songs out there that you could play without having to do a line dance.
Yeah. Number 3, what's your approach to keeping the dance floor full throughout the night?
Just keeping the music live.
Yeah.
I mean, just keeping it fun, keeping it exciting. Less announcements, more music.
Yeah.
I am not one to go and hog the mic just to get people up. I let the music speak, and I keep it very fresh and interesting for them.
Do you incorporate a lot of slow dancings in the middle of your night? So before you answer that, slow dances, do you incorporate them in there because bride and groom has requested something like that? The other thing I want to talk about is, do a lot of your wedding couples request games to be played, like the shoe game and things like that, and like an anniversary dance?
Okay. To answer as far as slow songs?
Yeah.
At most, in the 2-hour dance set, 3.
Okay, good point.
Unless it's per requested of the couple. You know, maybe they just want one or none. It's very rare. But a slow song is a good transition to go into the next genre.
Great point. So you use that as a transition.
I always coach them saying, listen, I won't play back-to-back slow songs.
Great point.
You get bored after a while, right? So you play a slow song after a good 45 minutes to an hour or whatever. Now, the older crowd likes to come up and do a slow song. They don't fast dance, but they want a slow song.
Yep.
Hit them with a slow song. Now you're transitioning into another genre.
Yeah.
Right? At that point. But I do it at max 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're okay with that.
Yeah.
As far as shoe games.
Do you feel like people are still doing that? I'm going to interject something in just a second. Just the games, like the shoe game.
Yeah, so I've had a recent wedding. They did the shoe game. It was great.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
It's very, very minimum.
How many questions during a shoe game?
10.
I had one that was 50 questions long.
So I got a questionnaire from the couple, and they pulled it off the internet. 50 questions. I went through and okay, what's the top 10?
Yes.
Give me your top.
Give me top 10,
what's the top
please.
10? And I had to make that top 10.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those questions were
questionable.
Very questionable.
Yeah.
Very questionable. It was a second marriage for the bride, so I kind of scanned every question to make sure it wasn't going to cross any lines.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
So I highlighted those top 10 and it's okay, that's the one we're going to use.
Yeah.
And that happened, and it was a great turnout because that's what they wanted.
That's nice.
Right? They thought it was fun.
Yeah.
The other thing is, as you said, anniversary dances. Not very often anymore.
Not very often.
That kind of went with the line dances.
I agree.
It went out the door for that, unless it's a per request. Unless it's an anniversary on the day of, for the grandparents, the aunts and uncle, they want to do an anniversary dance, then that's how we incorporate that.
I feel like lately, I just did a wedding in January and they did an anniversary dance, and it was because the grandmother and the grandfather was still alive and still in the room. Mm-hmm. They used that as a moment for everybody to kind of, they were the last, everybody came up on the dance floor, and then they got all the couples to kind of come off kind of thing. The last couple on the dance floor was I think she was 87 and he was 89. I think they were married for 62 years or 67 years. That was not just like an anniversary dance moment. The bride gave them special flowers. They honored them at the end of that. And I feel like that's the way an anniversary dance should be done.
And they always have the best advice.
Yes.
It's quick.
Yep. It's quick.
It's quick.
It's quick. It's not.
But it's not drawn out. But the grandparents, if they're married X amount of years, they always have the best advice.
Yes. Great. That's a great point.
Yes.
Those are the ones that I like to see when it comes to that. So How about what do you do? This is not even my question.
No, go ahead.
I know you.
Yes.
What do you do when that best man or the father that has the microphone for the toast, or anybody that has the toast? I need you to hit this one home, because I have emphasized this as many times as I could in my Wedding Tip Wednesdays. The toast become too long. How do you approach a toast that is becoming too long and it does not seem like they're going to stop?
Okay, her experience. What I usually do is, before we get in intros, after we get through cocktail hour, I line the wedding party up, and then I talk to those who are giving speeches, and I pull them aside. I have a quick chat with them. Best man, maid of honor, matron of honor, father, whoever's giving a speech. I always have a chat with them prior to that happening. And I'll say, all right, you have your speech on you? Yes. Is it long? It could be. All right, keep it short. Hit them with how you know this person, a funny story, end it on a good note with the couple. Most times I can't tell them. Like, if I tell them, they don't follow, and that's okay. Usually the couple will give me the eye and say, okay, basically cut the mic kind of look.
Yeah.
I haven't really had to cut the mic, but for this happened at a wedding last year. The best man had a little bit too much prior, and he just kept going on the speech. And then the coordinator came over to me saying, hey, Steve, do you want me to go and talk to the bride and see if we can kind of bring that out? All right, yes. She went over there. Bride gave me the look. I picked up my mic. I closed them out. And I made it funny because I knew the couple. The award show, when they speak too long, they throw on that track where they start and they're playing something in the background, and I say something, and then it just fades out that way. Mm-hmm. So that's how I handle that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I feel like that's good advice.
Yep.
I've seen one DJ start to play with the microphone switch on his board, and he would in, out, and made it seem like the microphone was dying.
But that looks bad on the DJ part. It looks like the DJ is not experienced. It looks like he doesn't have good gear.
You're right, Steve. You're right.
It always reflects back on. So if you do that, that's great. That's your thing, but it will reflect on you.
The toast was 32 minutes in.
Yep.
He wasn't stopping. He was like, the only thing he could do was kind of pretend that the microphone was going out, and then the best man's kind of going like this and going like this. Well, okay, I guess I'll end it now.
Yep.
It could have made a look bad on the DJ, but I feel like in that 32 minutes, everybody was like, okay, enough's enough, kind of thing like that. It was probably the best way, instead of just going zoop and cutting him off completely and then start talking over him, which could have looked bad also. So there's really no good way to do it.
That's kind of like a gray line, gray area. If the DJ followed up with a little quick something on the mic saying something funny to why he was doing what he was doing, great. But if he just did that and it just stopped, it looks bad.
Great point.
Yes.
At 32 minutes in, he was like, I don't know what else to do.
32 minutes.
32 minutes. That was just one person.
Yeah.
And they were still waiting to eat.
No.
So, all right.
Yes.
What are some of the biggest mistakes wedding couples make when choosing music for their wedding?
They choose stuff only they like.
I would have thought the other way. They choose what their parents like.
No, they choose only what they like. And it's not a bad thing, because there are weddings that work very well with that, because they know their guests. But they also have to think about the other 150 people.
Great point.
So I won't say no to them.
Yeah.
I'll just explain to them, okay, you guys have some great picks. Let's try this too.
Yeah.
Because you have guests that are going to leave early.
Yeah.
It just happens. So how do you grab their attention before they leave?
Yeah.
You don't just hit them with all the bangers.
Yeah.
You play something else. And then at the last hour, you play your whole set list.
Great point. Great point.
They're okay with that. As long as you explain to them and they trust you.
Yeah.
That's where it brings back to that trust in the initial meeting. You gain that trust.
Experience.
It's all about experience.
It's all about experience.
You get that
experience and trust.
They know you're experienced as the professional.
Yep.
You know what's going to work. You know what's not going to work. Yes, I've done a full 2-hour set of what only they like.
Yeah.
But it only, out of 150, 30 people on the dance floor.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
You just have to put it out there and explain to them, let's try something else.
Yeah. And I feel like that is being considerate of your guests. Now, if that bride and groom are a young couple and they love nothing but, Metallica, all those other people inside of that room are going to be listening to that, and it might just kind of deter them, and you might have a lot of people just kind of leaving because it's not their vibe.
Sure.
Taking that into consideration, I feel like that's going to be a good wedding tip Wednesday, is being considerate of your guests when it comes to your music. Take into consideration what you want, but be aware of the room, that if it's all older people, make sure your DJ can play something that kind of incorporates everybody. And then if you really like that Metallica, that last half hour, bang, that's where you're going to play it, because they're probably going to be gone by then. Great point. I think that's great advice. All right. How do you collaborate with other vendors like photographers? I feel like we already got that. Keeping up on the timeline, we already got that. I'm not even going to worry about that. We nailed that one already. How can some creative and unique moments couples can incorporate with music during their wedding day? So how can they incorporate something like husband sang a song for his wife over the instrumental and voiced over his thing and something like that? How could you incorporate something like that? Creative ways.
Creative ways. You know what I would say?
Incorporate music during their wedding day.
Yeah. You know what I say is, I've done this before. Couples they knew like their bridal party who were married. So they picked slow songs. Let's go back to slow songs. They picked for the slow songs for their wedding couple, or for their bridal party. So those who got married, they picked their first dance songs. So probably about 10 slow songs. Yes, it's excessive. It really worked, because that was a moment.
That's creative.
That's very creative.
Very creative.
Right? Yes, you have the last slow song of the night where it's just you two in the room and everybody's gone. You have your moment. Yes, that's creative. But the other creative thing I've done, and I see is coming to the forefront, is couples will find out the first dance songs from their wedding party members.
Nice.
And that not only brings in their wedding party, but brings in their guests even more. The wedding couple will be like, I wanted to do something for my bridal party, and my bridal party is ecstatic that you thought of them too. Not just being in their wedding party.
Great point.
But they thought about their wedding. So
great point. So side note, my niece, Abigail, reached out to me and she's like, hey, Uncle Ron, I'm getting married. I want you to come as a guest, but I could use your advice on some, other vendors that I need to do. So I was like, here's my DJs, here's my recommendations. You ended up doing Abigail's wedding. I was at my table with all of my family and my friends and stuff like that. The dance floor was full all night as usual. The light tubes that you have that in your display and stuff like that, everybody loved that. I was up at the bar getting a ginger ale. I overheard somebody that was over there saying, man, he goes, this DJ's really, really good at what he does. He's that dance floor. And I went over to my wife and I said, Steve just got a really good compliment while I was standing up over there. She goes, well, you're going to tell him. I said, well, I did tell him. I told you afterwards. And I said, that's the difference sitting as a guest now, watching my friends, when I say perform, I don't mean perform, but entertain, because that's your job. It was different than me being in the middle of the dance floor, because I'm working and going through and everything else like that, but to watch it from the sidelines kind of thing like that. But there's an energy that you bring to your weddings that experience can only come along with that. And when it comes to hiring your vendors, they should be experienced. I always ask my couples, I always tell my couples how many weddings I do per year and how many years I've been doing weddings. Because I want them to know that I don't have like 3 weddings under my belt that I just did last year. So that tells them that I've got experience. Same thing with DJs. As many years as you've been doing this, as many weddings as you do per year, they need to know that you have the experience to read the dance floor and get everybody on the dance floor. So that was really encouraging to be able to hear something like that.
I appreciate that, yes.
So what equipment and backup plans do you bring to ensure everything runs flawlessly? What's your backup plans on your wedding day?
My backup plans is I have a second setup that I always carry with me that's battery powered. In the event that the power goes down in the venue, I have battery powered speakers, battery powered lighting.
Wow.
We can continue on and still have a good party. I have backup microphones for that, so that works out well for any speeches, things like that. But that's my backup plan. You always have to have a plan B. Always have to plan B. And I want to say this especially for ceremonies. You have to have multiple mics. because if something fails, you got to have a backup. So what I tell the officiants, say, okay, you have a lapel, they have a lapel. Now the third microphone is for speeches, but if you don't have speeches, if something happens here, your backup plan must be a wireless handheld. And you go, it's within reach. So no one's fumbling for a microphone.
Great
no one's fumbling for, I always have 2 laptops. I always have an iPad ready to go for backup. So if one fails, I have a backup. If that fails, I have a backup. I have backups upon backups upon backups. My wife will get on me about that. She says, I'm the king of backups. Mm-hmm. And that's a compliment.
Yeah.
And I think it's
100%.
funny. I think it's funny the way she says it, but it's the way I think.
Yeah.
If it's my day,
yeah,
I want the professional that I hired to have backups.
Yeah.
Plan Bs.
That is a question any wedding couple should be asking their DJ before they hire them. These questions right here. What's your plan for backup if something happens?
And the other, and to kind of like talk more about that is what happens if you can't show up to an event? If you're a sole proprietor DJ, nobody works with you. What happens if you can't make it? You're sick, injured, whatever. What's your plan B? My plan B is I have a handful of DJs in my circle in this area that we hand off work to. So if I can't make it to an event for personal reasons, I check with other DJs to see if they have the date open and send them all the information, send out an email to the couple, let them know that the backup is happening and they have this X amount of experience and they can continue on. We are the same. Everybody that's in my circle, we're all the same. Personality-wise, music-wise, entertainment-wise. So that is my backup on that too.
And you're their backup also.
I'm their backup as well.
And I feel like
there's been a few times where we had to back up each other. And it's great. It works. You need that.
Life happens.
Life happens.
Life happens. Life happens. All right. Can you share a memorable wedding moment? Wait a minute, go back to, I think we missed one over here. It was about the trends. I do want to address that one. Actually, you already did.
Yeah, I did.
The line dancing
no
thing.
line dances. That's a trend.
And I feel like I agree with you. How about a trend, garter belt and bouquet toss? Do you feel like those are still happening?
Those are gone. Those are gone too.
I agree. I feel like they have just gone away. It's very rare.
And it kind of ties hand in hand with an anniversary. Because if they don't have the bouquet and garter, but they have this really nice bouquet, bride will hand it to grandparents. Or not even an anniversary dance, just hand it to mom as a thank you. And that hits home every time.
Every time.
Every time. But the other trend I've noticed, and this comes in helps with photographers, is that in order to open up your dance floor and not just pulling people in, we do a big group photo on the dance floor. You have people on the dance floor. And now, once the photographer does the big group photo for your memories, now we're ready to open up the dance floor. Now you have them locked in, we're ready to go.
So when that happens for me, I'm up on a chair. We've got the 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 people in the middle of the dance floor. We've got chairs in the background, people laying down. I'm in the front of everything there, got all my lights set. While they're all lining up, I'll start make a couple of jokes, and then I'll do, okay, 1, 2, 3, cheer. 1, 2, 3, cheer. And on the third one, 1, 2, 3, cheer. And everybody's cheering. And I'm taking pictures, everybody kind of arms in the air cheering. At that time, the DJ goes right into the next song and transitions right into that. Bang, they go right into the dancing. I love that. All right. Can you share a memorable moment of a wedding where music really transformed the atmosphere of the night?
Yes. This is a funny one, and it really enhanced the night. The dance floor was open, ready to go. There's 3 weddings going on in this venue. The fire alarm goes off. We're cranking, right? All of a sudden, we had to go outside, do the proper thing. As soon as it was all done, we all came back in. I had to run in quick, and I dropped in, because it was the fire alarm, I dropped in Fireball. When I dropped in Fireball, I waited till about 90% of the guests were in, because I had background music going. But I dropped that in. They laughed. And I can tell you, Ron, that enhanced the mood even more, because it was fun. You played off of something that just happened. You took a bad and made it great. And I did that, and even the staff came up to me and said, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. And the couple, that was the most memorable part for the couple. They loved it.
For couples currently planning their wedding, what advice would you give them about booking a DJ? I feel like we talked about it, but let's touch on it again. What advice would you give somebody?
Do your research. Really get to know the DJ that you want. Don't just hire anybody. Hire the DJ you want.
How about reviews? Do you
check
point
out
them in the
reviews.
yeah.
Definitely focus on the reviews. Listen to people that have used that DJ company. If you have family and friends that used it, those trump any review that you read online. If you listen to your friends and family, right? They trust you.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how important that is, because I'd say 90% of my events are through word of mouth.
Yeah, I agree. Same with me. Yep.
Yes, I have a website. Yes, I have Instagram. Yes, I have TikTok.
Yeah.
But when they reach out to me, it's my cousin used you for their wedding. We want to use you for the wedding.
Yeah.
Do your research. Get to know your DJ. Become friends with your DJ. Get comfortable with the DJ.
This is your entertainer for the day.
This is your make it or break it.
If you don't like the personality of the person that's going to have your microphone, if you don't like the energy of the person that's going to have the microphone, if you feel like the person that's going to have the microphone does not have a strong enough voice, those are red flags for you. That's not the right person
100%.
for you. You have to, and you meet with the people, and so you have a conversation with them so that you hear their voice. If somebody's talking like a mouse, you know, I joked, I told you this story before, about the guy that had the microphone so close to his mouth and you couldn't even understand a word that he was saying. They should have known that before they even got to the event and before you even hired them. A DJ should not be what's the word I want? Not unrecognizable, not understandable. You must understand what your DJ is saying.
Correct. So your DJ needs to not be a mic hog.
Oh, great point.
Because if you have a DJ that tries to crack jokes just to get a dance floor or just to make somebody uncomfortable, that is not your DJ.
Great point.
A professional DJ should let the music speak.
Great point.
Say what you got to say at the times you need to say it. Done. If somebody wants you to make the announcement, make the announcement. Done.
Yeah.
Don't stay on the microphone. Yeah. Don't crack jokes.
Yeah.
Let the music speak for yourself.
Don't sing along with the song.
Don't sing along with the song. I see, the way I do things is, this is my own personal experience. There's certain songs that couples love that really get people to jump up in the air, put their hands up, sing along.
Yep.
I always say a little something that really enhances the energy.
Yep.
Quick 10 seconds, I'm done.
Yeah. That's very reflective on your TikTok also.
Yes.
When people, and the TikTok's going to be down below, all your information is going to be down below as far as social medias. But I encourage people to go to look at your TikTok. I feel like in your Instagram, this is when you see your social media as a wedding couple, try and picture that as your wedding day.
Sure.
Try and picture that as
every wedding is different.
Some people have wands, some people don't. Everybody's got two arms, and if they're in the air, you show that when on the dance floor when you're doing stuff like that.
Yes, so every wedding is different. Not everybody wants the high energy. That's great. You need to hire a professional that needs to learn and pivot in that. So if you hire a DJ that's 1,000% energy driven, like high energy club kind of atmosphere, your DJ that you hired needs to learn to show up to the event and go, okay, this is not really going to be that. How do we transition out of that? And how can we keep the party going, still make it fun and exciting, but not club style?
I'm glad you brought that up. I want to address that because I feel like a DJ that does clubs all the time can struggle trying to do a wedding. They're not the same atmosphere that's in there. The clientele is different, the guests are different, the people are different, and there's nothing wrong with doing clubs and doing that on Fridays and Thursdays and Sundays, and then on Saturdays doing things for weddings. But I feel like the wedding couple really needs to understand that just because somebody does club DJing does not make them a good DJ for a wedding.
So couples that love the club atmosphere will hire a club DJ or a DJ that can really give that atmosphere.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
But you need to hire somebody who's well balanced.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Well balanced.
Well balanced.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am not a club DJ.
Yep.
You're not going to see me go in a club and try to hit wedding bangers because that's not the atmosphere.
Agreed.
Because I don't know.
Balance.
Right? So I know weddings. I know them in and out.
Yep.
I know what I need to play and how to play them, when to play them.
Yep.
Okay. But I also know I focus on the couple's needs and wants when it comes to what kind of atmosphere we're painting for them.
Yeah. There is a very few in Western Mass DJs that are remarkably excellent at DJing in a club, and they're absolutely excellent at DJing at a wedding.
Yep.
They're very few and aren't far in between.
Sure.
But there are some really good ones in
Really
Western
good ones.
Massachusetts that they can do the best in both worlds.
Exactly.
And they're really good at what they do. So, rapid fire.
Yes.
All right.
Here we go.
First dance song you ever get tired of hearing?
Perfect.
First dance song? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great point. Once you just said perfect. Yeah. Yep.
Perfect.
You're right. You're right.
It's
Yeah.
Sheeran.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know a lot of people by artists, but a lot of times I can catch that beat because when you're mixing, those certain beats will come up. Like YMCA is a very significant. September has a very significant.
Yep.
Once I hear, sometimes I don't remember who the artist is, but I was like, oh, there's September.
Yep.
So, all right. One song that instantly will fill the dance floor.
Instantly. September.
Perfect.
Instantly.
All right. Most requested wedding song right now, as of, let's say, end of 2025, beginning of 2026.
Most requested.
Most requested. Good, bad, or otherwise, whether you like it or not.
Uptown
Most
Funk.
requested. Okay. A song you wish couples would request more often. What song would be a good one you wish more requests people would do?
Any, like, Darude, Sandstorm.
Oh.
Let me
I'll
tell
have
you
to go
why.
look at that. Yeah.
Because that is, yes, it's a club if you have that wedding, but it's something everybody knows. And if you have glow sticks and things, it really enhances the mood.
The ultimate last song of the night, in your opinion. Last song of the night. I feel like this could be varied because this is the private last dance. It's just the two of them.
The ultimate, I'm going to take it back to classics. I'm going to go At Last, Etta James.
Ah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Classic wedding song that will never go out of style.
Celebration.
I agree.
I don't know.
I agree.
I'm just, this is rapid fire, so I'm just
Yeah. No,
I'm going back to the cookie cutter stuff.
Yep. That's what this is.
Cookie
That's what it's
cutter.
about. Yep. Okay. All right. Personal guilty pleasure dance song.
I love to play, oh boy.
This is your favorite song you try and squeeze into a night.
Anything Michael Jackson, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it back. Taking it back.
Yeah. Michael Jackson, good one. Biggest wedding dance floor surprise you've ever seen. Anything stupid like that.
I had a mascot.
Perfect example.
I had a mascot at a wedding just come in out of nowhere. And it really, because there was like a baseball theme to it, like from the groom side.
Okay.
A mascot surprised us.
All right, mascot. If a couple says play whatever you want, what's the first song you drop?
Oh boy. Oh, play whatever I want. I'm going to play anything.
Free reign, Steve. Keep the people on the dance floor. That's all we ask. What's your first song right out of the box? They just cut their cake. Now we're going right over to the dance
Something
floor.
by David Guetta. High energy.
High energy, yeah.
I want to grab the people's attention.
Yeah.
Something that people know.
Yeah. Or like right after the group photo was done.
Yep.
What's that first song
Yep.
drop?
It's going to be that or even Flow Rider.
Flow Rider. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
One word to describe the perfect wedding dance floor on a wedding day.
Magical.
Magical. That's a good one. What is the one song, last one right here, what is the last song that will clear the dance floor faster than a fire alarm, since we were talking about fire alarms? What is the one song that you turn around and you play and the bride requested it and you know it's going to be like, a dud?
I don't
What's
know.
the song that's going to be like?
Know. That's good.
Because I know you can't go from high energy down to a slow song.
Right.
And you shouldn't do that. You got to transition it
Right.
somehow. But what's one song off the top of your head that could be like?
Everybody's on the up and up.
Yep.
And then we hit them with Sweet Caroline, and comes to find out nobody told me that so and so didn't like Sweet Caroline.
Oh, okay.
And they cleared the dance floor. And then we're at the end of the night. But that was it. That was
Sweet Caroline in New York, and you're all Yankees fans.
Exactly. And so how do you get out of that? How do you pivot out of that?
Yeah.
My favorite, but I got to tell you though, Ron, my favorites are when people at the end of a night slow it down, and then you have people that don't want to leave and they just cheer one more song.
Yeah.
And then you hit them.
Yeah.
You hit them with something that they never thought of.
Yeah.
And then it brings everybody back. You always want to try to end on a high note.
Yep.
Because the people will go, that was a night. That was a vibe.
Yeah. And they're still singing when you're packing up your stuff. You're packing up your gear, and they're coming over. It's like, that was excellent.
And they're going, one more song, and I already have 5 wires pulled. One more song. I already have pulled the wires.
I can't play it now. Sorry.
The venue won't let me stay.
Yeah.
So-
And I feel like there's a lot of restrictions when it comes to that, certain venues, certain decibels you can't be above and things like that. Certain venues that once that clock ends, that's, you got to start packing it up. Some venues are more strict than others.
Yeah, lately a lot of venues have been more kind of relaxed on that when they'll, maybe one or two more songs if they know the couple well enough to go, okay, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And if I know the couple and the venue really doesn't, I'll say, hey, listen, I'm not sure if you can let them go maybe one more song over. But if they chant, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I always make sure and not just
Great
hit
point.
it. I don't just do it.
Experience.
I don't do it because it's for me.
Yeah.
I do it for them, but I also want to stay on good terms with the venue.
Yes.
So I'll say, hey, listen, the couple really wants one more song, but we're at that time.
Yeah.
Can you let me hit one more song? And they go, great, Steve, no problem.
Yeah.
Hit them.
Yeah.
Now we're okay. We're on the same page.
Yeah. Have you ever had anybody heckle you because you didn't play one more song?
Yes.
Like that drunk groomsman that was like, one more song. You're like, I can't. We're packing up. No, yes, you can.
But the way I handle it is I make a joke out of it and I make it funny. I can't give you an example, but I just always take it and I go, you know something? Listen, I'll pack up and I'll meet you over at the after party and we can do it all there. We can do it all there. And they will laugh.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I've never had a bad heckle.
Yeah.
Like they just do it for fun.
Good. It's when alcohol is involved, it just gets a little bit crazy. Is there any not horror stories or most memorable story that involved alcohol?
Yes.
That was quick.
Yes. People will tend to put their drinks on my speakers.
Oh my God, that's a no-no.
Yes. Or
that is a
they'll
no-no.
sing over my controller, over my gear, with a drink in their hand. I'd be like, kind of like this. But the big thing is when they're drinking too close to my gear, something can happen.
Yeah.
So
anything like that ever happened before?
It's never happened.
Yeah.
Because I'm always around my gear.
Yeah.
I'm always on high alert.
Yeah.
And you have to be on high alert.
Yeah.
Whether it be somebody dancing too close to your laptop and want to knock it off.
Yeah.
You have to kind of put that.
Or bump into your front of your stand.
But you have to see it before it happens. Because you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Prevent it from happening.
Yeah.
So whether it be a drink on the speaker to a drink over your stuff
Yeah.
or somebody bumping into your laptop and killing the mood.
Now, has any of those light tubes that you have in front of your things, have those ever been knocked over?
When I first bought those, I had a wedding. They were huge into Star Wars and all that.
Oh, say no more.
And
I know where
they
you go.
said, Steve, can we use those for intros? Can we pretend we're fighting on the way out?
Are they glass or
intros?
plastic?
They're plastic.
Okay.
And I said, sure. Because you're the couple, yes. But don't cling them together because they will break.
Great point.
I go, just pretend you're...
Yeah.
When I announce you guys come in, boom. And because they're wireless and battery powered, I do control them on my laptop. And I did a light show for them as they're coming out fighting. So if the groom hit the bride, act like I would turn it red.
Oh, okay.
And I do a vice versa to the bride.
Yeah.
So it made it fun for them.
Yeah.
And that was the thing.
That's
It never got
awesome.
knocked over because I position them.
Yeah.
But they've been used for intros.
Yeah, you've got a really nice setup with the lights that you have. They're very unique in what they do, and the fact that they are not just with your lights around the room, because you include that in your packages also, but there's something that just adds a little bit of, instead of just having a table, which I've done some weddings with some DJs, which just had a folding table and a small speaker, and he had a speaker up in the corner, and he's got this little box like this with his soundboard and things like that. And I've seen people, and he's sitting in a wheelchair doing the wedding, and I'm looking around and it's just crazy, the thing. But the setup that you have, it's very unique and cool in what it does, and the atmosphere. I feel like it just complements the room.
My setup was designed during the pandemic. I've seen DJs do it from other states, and I've always wanted to be different. I always wanted to stand out somehow, but keep it clean. My setup was built by my father-in-law because my mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer, and he needed an outlet to kind of get away and distract him. So he would work on this, and I kind of planned it. He perfected it, and he built it. And it was during the pandemic where my mother-in-law was going through that time of cancer, and unfortunately, she, in such short time, she had passed. But that was his. So that's why I take pride. That was his distraction.
Yeah.
And it kind of gave him a sense of peace from it all.
Yeah.
So when I roll into every event, it means that much more.
Yeah.
because it's not just plop it here. There's something behind it. And I take pride in my setup.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No,
That's why I was talking about how good your setup is.
I've never really elaborate on why I have my setup. I have my setup for personal reasons, for DJ professional reasons, but it's more so because of. But he built it during the pandemic for that reason. Not for that reason, for me, but to keep him distracted.
Yeah, keep him distracted. Anything else you want to talk about, address, wedding industry-wise, DJing-wise, any venue-wise, anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
I feel like we covered everything.
I think we did.
I feel like we got everything covered as far as from emphasizing on professional DJs, what they should be doing and what they, things like that. But I feel like everything that was in there was relative to DJing and weddings and things like that, how you approached a wedding. But I feel like we kind of get everything that we needed to get. Wow, that was a lot of information from the DJ's point of view. I'm looking at a lot of different things, and what Steve was talking about, how he approaches his couples when he first talks to them, is taking money out of the equation. It's like asking them what they're looking for. What do you want to do? And then make sure it lines up with what he can deliver and what he can do. So thank you, Steve G, from coming to Productions, coming to the channel and listening to all of this and being part of this thing. So we want to thank you guys. All Steve G's information is going to be down in the description down below. TikTok follow, Instagram follow, Facebook follow, check out the website, go see all the stuff that he's doing, and you'll see the difference in what true professional DJing looks like. So thank you guys for coming back to the channel, and remember to smile more because it sure does hurt less. Peace.